Hello, and thank you very much for tuning into this week's Mayor's Update. As always, we have a lot of important information to share with you here today, so please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, relatives, and anyone else who you think may find this information helpful over the course of the next week. I'm very happy today to say that the demolition of the Rock Street factory is almost complete. For those of you who may not know, over on Rock Street, which is located just off of Parker Street, there was an old, abandoned, all-wooden, non-sprinklered old factory building that was a very large fire hazard, blighted building, and just eyesore in the neighborhood that was in a very densely populated area. So much so that in one of the buildings you could actually reach out the window and touch the wall of that factory. That factory is now down. We were able to demo the building using some of our block grant funding that we received from the Commonwealth, and we are looking at installing a small pocket park in that area to help replace blight with some promise in an area that was run down for quite some time. I want to give a special thank you to our Assistant Director of Community Development and Planning, Jeff LeGros, for his work in making sure that that project was able to get off the ground and be almost at completion. The last week at the City Council meeting, the City Council voted to approve a lease between the City of Gardner and Haywood Hospital. This is allowing Haywood to expand and add an additional surgical and outpatient wing to their existing building over on Green Street and Woodland Avenue, and expand their parking as well. Haywood is our largest employer in the city, and this is helping to not only grow some jobs in the city, but also increase the services that Haywood has to offer. And if there's one thing that I think we've all learned during the pandemic, is how lucky we are to have Haywood Healthcare headquartered here in the city. And I want to thank them very much for their commitment to continue to operate here in the city with this $13 million investment into us as we plan for the future in caring for the city's health needs. There has been plenty of questions about the Farmers to Family Food Box program and whether or not that will continue. We are still waiting for guidance from the federal government as to whether or not this program is included in the stimulus bill that President Trump recently signed. Once we get that information, we can go from there. But until we know from the federal government whether or not the funding has been allocated for this program by the USDA, we are unable to continue that service here, as we were only the conduit for distribution, and the federal government was the one who actually purchased all of the food that was given out. Once we have more information, we will be sure to let you know, not only in these updates, but also by posting information on the city's website and social media platforms. The city had to shut the water off at 4 Parker Street this past week, and I just want to explain that situation to you all in case you may notice it in the downtown area. Now, for those of you who may not know what 4 Parker Street is, it's the corner building at the corner of Pleasant Street and Parker Street, right across from Priscilla's in the downtown square, that houses Nails 2000. This is the building that the city had to shut the electricity and water off to earlier this year due to structural concerns and water leaking from the roof onto the electrical panel in the building. The issue that happened this 2 weeks ago is there is a check valve at the building leading into the street that prevents any water that goes in the building from leaking back out into the water system and contaminating the water for the rest of the city. That check valve failed inspection and is broken. As such, we have ordered the property owner to replace the valve, and until that valve is replaced or we have proof that the work is going to be done, we had to shut the water off to the building. I understand that many people have been asking questions about how we can help that local business, Nails 2000. However, until that landlord who owns multiple other buildings in the downtown makes that repair, we unfortunately have to keep the water off in that building. The city is doing all we can to make sure that the property owner makes that repair, but we just need to be doing all we can to make sure we're protecting the city's drinking water supply and water system from any potential backflow out in and stop any contaminants before they even occur. Because many people have called to ask, I want to make sure that that's clear to everyone as to why the city did shut the water off to that building this past week. I also want to give a very heartfelt and warm congratulations to our longtime city clerk, Mr. Alan Agnelli, on his retirement. Alan's last day with the city is Monday, January 4th, which is this coming Monday from when we're filming this here. And he has been an invaluable resource for the city and its residents over his 10 years as city clerk, but also over his 2-year tenure as mayor and his 4-year tenure as a city councilor before that. If there's anyone who knows Gardner, it's Alan, and he knows it like the back of his hand, and I just want to wish him a very heartfelt congratulations on his retirement. I have a feeling we'll be seeing him around, just because those of you who may know Alan know that the grass doesn't grow under his feet for that long. But I do think he's deserving of all of our thanks and congratulations for all he's done for us. And the last thing that we're going to be closing with today is I want to give you all an update that I will be delivering the biannual State of the City address on Wednesday, January 13th at 6 p.m. Unlike in past years, and similar to what's happened throughout the past year since the pandemic was started, this address will be taking place in somewhat of a different way than it has in the past. Mayor Hawk used to give this by pre-recording his State of the City address, similar to how we record these mayor's updates, and it was aired on GETV. Prior to that, mayors have gone and stood before a meeting of the City Council beforehand and briefly read their State of the City addresses. Mayors have sent copies of their State of the City's printed address to the City Council, and it was simply recorded from there. Originally, back when the city was founded in 1923, there was a special celebration for the State of the City that included a small dance afterwards. This year will be the first year that we will be giving the address live on GETV, WGAW, Facebook, and YouTube to ensure that the members of the public have access to the address, because it's my opinion that the people who live here in the city of Gardner should know what's going on City Hall, in the City Hall on their behalf, and have an idea about what's going on in their community. We were all working to help improve this place that we all call our home, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to take something away from the address and see how much we've been able to accomplish this past year despite all of the challenges that we've been facing. So again, that'll be on Wednesday, January 13th at 6 p.m. Please look at the city's website and social media platforms for further information. However, that concludes this week's update. Until we speak again, please continue to watch out for yourselves and others and keep track of your own mental and physical health during these trying times. Please be sure to celebrate the New Year's safely, following all applicable guidelines. And on behalf of myself and all of us here in City Hall, I want to wish you all a very happy and healthy New Year. Thank you very much, and have a good day.